It was a beautiful summer day on the island of Sodor. Thomas felt very happy as he quietly filled up with water. Suddenly, there was a whoosh and a clickety-clack as a silver blur roared past him. Fizzling fireboxes, peeped Thomas. What was that? Later, Spencer thundered up the track to Knapford Station, and all the engines realised who had been roaring around the island. I have a very important job to do, Spencer puffed smugly. Duke and Duchess of Boxford are having a new summer house built. Has to be finished in time for their holiday. Cinders and ashes, puffed Thomas. Having Speedy Spencer on Sodor for one day is bad, but the whole summer will be terrible. During the next few days, Spencer was very rude to the other engines. He even called Thomas a tiny toy tank engine. Thomas told Spencer he could pull loads just as heavy as his. So Spencer challenged Thomas to a race around Sodor. The engines met at the shunting yards at dawn. A whistle wailed and the race was on. As Thomas sped down a big hill, his brakes broke. He rolled faster and faster. He came to an old stretch of overgrown tracks that he'd never seen before and crashed through the bushes. Finally, he slowed to a stop. And then he heard a noise. Hello. My name is Hero, a strange voice said. There was a very old engine in the bushes. He was rusty and broken. At first, Thomas wanted to roll away as fast as his wheels could carry him. But then he realized that Hero was kind and gentle. Hero told Thomas he had come to Sodor a long time ago. He had been one of the first steam engines on Sodor and had been known as the master of the railway. But Hero had broken down, and there had been no parts on Sodor to fix him with. He was forgotten. Thomas said he would get Sir Topham Hatt to help. No, Hero cried. You know what happens to old engines that aren't really useful anymore? They're sent to the smelting yard. Thomas decided to help his new friend in secret. Later, Thomas had his brakes repaired at the Sodor Steamworks. Thomas wanted to tell everyone about Hero, but knew he had to keep quiet. As he chuffed away, he spotted an old engine part that Kevin the Crane had dropped. This will be good for Hero, he thought, and puffed away excitedly. The next day, Thomas did his work quickly and then sped out to visit Hero. As he neared Hero's hiding place, Spencer steamed around the bend. What are you doing here? Spencer asked. I think you're up to something. Thomas didn't answer. He just chuffed away nervously. Thomas knew he couldn't do his work and repair Hero on his own. So he went to Percy and told him everything. Of course I'll help, Percy peeped. What can I do? Will you take this tractor to Farmer McColl for me? Thomas asked. Percy was excited about helping Thomas, but first he had to find a place to hide his mail trucks. Percy found an old siding to hide the mail trucks in, then went off with the tractor. But the tractor was so heavy that Percy popped a valve. He had to be repaired at the Sodor Steamworks, and in all the excitement, he forgot where he had hidden the mail trucks. Back at Tidmouth Sheds, Sir Topham Hatt was very cross that Percy had lost his mail trucks. "I can help Percy find them tomorrow," Thomas peeped. Thomas's friends knew something strange was going on, so he told them all about Hero. Gordon gasped, and James jumped. They had never heard such an amazing story. The next morning, Thomas was a really useful engine, and the whole time he knew Spencer was following him. Suddenly, an idea flew into Thomas's funnel. If Spencer was going to follow him all day, he could lead that nosy engine away from Hero. That would mean all the other engines would be free to help repair him. The next day, Thomas and Percy looked for the mail trucks as far away from Hero as possible. They puffed out to the quarry, with Spencer sneaking behind the whole way. When they got there, Mavis wouldn't leave Spencer alone. "What an honour," she puffed. "Let me take you around the quarry." As he toured the quarry, Spencer biffed a hopper. Slate and dust showered down and blocked his funnel. Edward had to pull him to the steamworks to be repaired. With Spencer at the steamworks, Thomas thought it was a good time to take his friends to visit Hero. Hero liked meeting the other engines, but making all these new friends reminded him of old friends back home, which made him sad. "Don't worry," Thomas peeped. "Tomorrow, Percy will bring the last part. Then you'll be ready, and you won't be alone anymore." The next morning, Spencer found Percy's missing mail trucks near Hero's hiding place. "These must be part of Tricky Thomas's tricks," he huffed, then raced back to Knapford Station to find Sir Topham Hatt. "Spencer, why did you take Percy's mail trucks?" Sir Topham Hatt demanded. "I didn't take..." Sir Topham Hatt wasn't interested in Spencer's excuses. Spencer was mad. "I won't let Thomas get away with this." Thomas and Hero were waiting for Percy to bring the very last part. Hero was very excited. But then they heard Spencer coming down the track. "I found you," he huffed. "Hero, you can puff away from him," Thomas steamed. "Let's go." Hero tried to race away, but without the missing piece, his pistons couldn't pump. Metal parts popped off him, and he sputtered to a stop. Spencer laughed. "Is this what you've been doing, Thomas? Making a heap of metal for the smelting yard? Sir Topham Hatt will make sure he's sent there." As Spencer steamed away, Thomas felt terrible. everything he had promised Hero was ruined. He knew he had to find Sir Topham Hatt before Spencer did. Thomas and Spencer had the race of their lives. They steamed through tunnels and roared around bends. But as they crossed over a marsh, Spencer realized he was too heavy for the old track. It creaked and cracked. Then the mighty Spencer slid into the muddy marsh. Thomas promised Spencer he'd get help. At Knapford Station, Thomas found Sir Topham Hatt with the Duke and Duchess. Thomas's wheels wobbled as he told them all about Hero. Sir Topham Hatt was shocked. "You mean you found the master of the railway? Why didn't you come to me sooner?" Sir Topham Hatt asked Thomas. "I was worried, so I tried to do it all alone," Thomas peeped. "We must help Hero at once," said Sir Topham Hatt. A few days later, all the engines went to see Hero at the Sodor Steamworks. When he puffed up the track, they couldn't believe their eyes. He looked wonderful, as good as new. "Welcome back, Master of the Railway," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Now, go get Spencer out of the mud." Together with Rocky and Thomas, Hero pulled Spencer from the mud. Spencer couldn't believe how shiny and new Hero looked. "I'm sorry I thought you were a tricky engine, Thomas," puffed Spencer. "And I'm sorry I called you a heap of scrap, Hero." With a mighty heave and haul, Hero pulled Spencer all the way to the steamworks. A few days later, all the engines gathered at Brendam Docks to say goodbye to Hero. "I'll never forget what you did for me," Hero said to Thomas. "And I'll never forget you." "Sodor will always be your home too, Hero," Thomas puffed happily. All the engines whistled farewell to their friend, the master of the railway.